I'm James Riswick. I'm joined by Mike Magrath, and we're just going to be talking about some of the highlights of this year's LA Auto Show. So Mike, what do you think is the most important car of the show?
Ford brought the Fiesta ST, which is their new hot rod, nearly 200 horsepower from a 1.6 liter turbocharged motor, but they also brought the Ford Fiesta with the 1 liter 3-cylinder. It's the first 3-cylinder in America since we found that V8s were better. Ford hasn't disclosed any power or EPA ratings, but it's got to be in the 120 to 130 range and 40 plus miles per gallon. And we know that that Fiesta drives well and it looks good. And with the exception of my Ford Touch's oddities, Ford's quality has been outstanding lately.
So another important car was the Honda Civic. Now that was a car that was just introduced last year at the New York Auto Show, and already they're redoing it. And
Less than a year.
Right. And the interesting thing is it's almost like the opposite of the Forte. So it drove well, it's just all the basics, like the interior was this garbage, and it looked essentially like a rehash of the old one. So now they sort of have to pick up and actually seem like they're trying, even though from a mechanical standpoint they were, but from design, no.
And for Honda, the Honda faithful, or even people looking for a Civic, the 2012 wasn't really a disappointment. It just didn't meet the expectations we had. It still worked, it was just completely uninspiring. This new one, they've taken something that was just okay, but still sold well, and added content, added features, and added niceness. Backup camera is now standard, Bluetooth is now standard, a little color display is now standard, and it's what, 150 bucks or so more expensive? Yeah. And really, for 150 bucks, the backup camera alone is probably worth it.
Now let's stop talking about normal cars. What did Mercedes have to offer?
All right, Mercedes brought a really cool concept in the Ener-G Force concept, and this is, in Mercedes' own words and in our sincerest hopes, pure science fiction and in no way a replacement to the traditional G-Wagon. It's got crazy, hyper-futuristic all-wheel drive with a terrain sensor on the roof, and it's got a hydrogen powertrain that collects rainwater on the roof and somehow, through magic, turns that into hydrogen. Now the challenge here was the design challenge that this was built as part of, to build what the police car of 2025 will be like, and for some reason they think that in 2025 we're going to need a hydrogen-powered all-wheel drive war wagon that will somehow collect rain in Southern California in the desert where they've shown it.
We're screwed.
Yeah.
Okay. In the future.
So, but beyond that, they brought out a real car in the SLS AMG Black Series.
Yeah, that's a real car.
Yeah, it's a.
We're all going to go out afterwards and buy some of those.
Right, at 622 horsepower, with less than 500 produced worldwide and less than 100 set for the U.S. and a $200,000 to $300,000 base price, they're pretty much sold out already. If you don't have your name in the books for this one, you're going to have to wait and try to find it on James List and eBay and find a wrecked one, because one of them is going to end up in a ditch somewhere real quick.
That does it for the Los Angeles Auto Show. We'll be back in less than 2 months in beautiful, glorious, all-weather, perfect Detroit, where there will be introductions of new cars. So we'll see you then.